So these are the prequels. Over there is the original trilogy, and there's one shelf in particular that's been doing my head in for so long, and it's this one right here. It's so empty and I need to do something about that. But the thing is, I have an idea, but it may mean I may need to break chronology to do it. Do it. So, hello there, only One Kenobi here, only one. So I was just in here the other night and I was pottering around and I had this idea. I was just sort of like was looking at this shelf and I thought, I've got to do something about this, man. It just needs more figures on it, and I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some more pilots from elsewhere in the saga on there. Now, I'm kind of breaking chronology with that, and I pride myself on being very faithful to chronology in this room. So let's just have a quick overview. If you want to see a full tour of this room, do check out a series of mine called Shelf Indulgence, and there's a link for that below. You've got Rogue One at the top shelf there, a little bit of Battle of Jeddah, and then you've got the final showdown that leads to the beginning of A New Hope, which is the Battle of the Tantive 4. You have the droid sale here and the meeting of Obi-Wan and Luke, and then this is great because you've got the cantina. And I like it being on this shelf because it goes right into the corner, gives it that interior feel. So that's all fine. Then of course we have the Death Star, we have the battle between the showdown between Vader and Obi-Wan, and then this is the last shelf for New Hope, and look how empty it is. I love this little group here. You can't beat it, Luke, Biggs, Wedge, Dutch Vander, Porkins, but then, it needs more to it. So here's my plan. I'm thinking about putting a few pilots from Return of the Jedi on there, only because they look so good. And I've been very busy in this room. Just to give you a little bit of an overview, I've put these last 6 shelves in recently. They used to be 120 centimeters. All these other shelves are 80, so I had shelves that were the wrong size at the bottom, which didn't work. Over on this wall, I've added more shelves here. This is a kind of a miscellaneous Star Wars wall here. You've got things like Tatooine Beasts at the top there, and then it's pretty much a Tatooine theme, these ones here. And what I've managed to do is transfer a lot of Return of the Jedi figures over here. Just, as I say, it's a little bit of a bit of a mashup, should we say. A bit of a Battle of Endor tribute there, and so on. So it kind of alleviates the pressure because I was busting with figures at the final chapter there of Return of the Jedi. Now the reason it's a bit of a mess at the bottom, sorry about the mess, is because I haven't actually managed to set them up yet. I've got as far as the end of Empire Strikes Back, and then that's as far as I have sorted out. But I know that I could, well, not only do I need to deal with that shelf being so damn bare, but I also need to maybe alleviate a little bit more pressure in terms of the number of figures I have for the end of the Return of the Jedi. What I'm aiming for is the last scene is going to be, I've got loads of really good figures for Vader, Luke and Emperor's ordeal on the Death Star. And then I've finally actually got these recently. Let me show you these. Hang on, hold it to the light. These are beautiful, these. I opened this on Salacious Rum's live stream. I've never had Force Ghost figures before, but I can see the saga ending with that. So that's what I'm going to do. But to break chronology means to put a few pilots from the Return of the Jedi up here, but it's not necessarily a terrible bend of the rules because, a lot of those pilots may have been around. They just might not have sent them all up. I know for a fact that Kian Farlander was potentially there. He's now no longer canon, but in Legends, Kian was that final Y-Wing, that flew up, and then you could see him leaving the scene with the Falcon and Luke and Wedge. So anyway, but still, I just think it would be nice to have them all together. So as I say, a lot of people, when they collect, they have like a whole shelf full of stormtroopers. They'll have a shelf dedicated to clones. They'll have a shelf dedicated to pilots. Now, I could have done that. I could have had not only Yavin, I could have had all the Hoth pilots and all the Return of the Jedi pilots all together. But I chose not to. I thought I'd just go by chronology. But you know what? Some of those figures are so good. You've got the Green Squadron, you've got the Red Squadron, you've got potentially Blue Squadron that they're going to make the Merrick as well. I can put him in there maybe. No, he would have died by then. He'd be up here. Anyway, I'm digressing. I just think that it would look good to have a few more pilots than those together. Do you know what? Instead of waffling on about it, I think I'm just going to go and do it. Alright, so I've done it. And if we pan from the showdown of Obi-Wan and Vader, and here they are now. So we've got the traditional Yavin pilots, but if we pan across, you just see this other motley crew of other guys. I mean, the end of the day, right? they wouldn't have been dead here. So that makes sense. But generally, I don't really like putting figures like that in this part of the story. But you know, it's not impossible that they wouldn't have been there. So you've got obviously Kian Farlander. I love Kian Farlander. Not only is he the guy they named as being the B-Wing pilot from the vintage line of the 80s, but Kian himself fascinates me. He was part of the Skywalker Academy. He got that good. And he was supposedly the last pilot of the final Y-Wing in the Battle of Yavin. Now I whipped that one out only because it's red. I like this Y-Wing. Looks a bit like Kylo Ren's lightsaber. But I used to have Kian in that actually. I've actually put Kian in this B-Wing here. So I've had a bit of a change around there as well. Focus there you go. Anyway, Dagger Squadron B-Wing that, which really should have that fellow in there, Pollard. But still, so that's the deal. Kian, most certainly, if he was a canon character, would have been there. You've got these other people. You've got Taicho Selchu, you've got Arvel Crinid. As I said to you, they wouldn't have been dead. They may not have joined the Alliance. There'll be someone out there who's got data on all these people and will know when and where they joined the Alliance. There's one thing I'm not going to put on here. I'm not going to put Mon Mothma there because she doesn't appear in New Hope, as you know. She appears in Rogue One, but not in New Hope, so that's not going to work. And certainly I'm not going to put this guy here. You know, things like that would just be a no way. That's never going to happen. Or General Madine. But I just thought that this needed some life, this shelf. And it needed some characters. And there's no reason why these guys couldn't have been around. And who cares, man? It's a break in timeline. I just think that at the end of the day, it's what looks good. And that looks so much better. And then at the back there's too many of them. He's got a name as well. I've forgotten his name. If you know his name, let me know. You've got Tennum there as well, and he matches Pollard there. So I kind of blended those colours. You got the Green Squadron, and then the Red and Rogue Squadron, blah blah blah. Anyway, let me know what you think of that. I just thought I'd let you in on that one. I did ask my patrons last night. Oh, and before I leave you, quite topical when we're talking about pilots. Obviously, I'm going to keep them there. They're Hoth pilots. I wouldn't want to mix them in there. Definitely not. But this is something else. I went down to my PO box today and to see if I'd had anything. And this is number 4 from whoever you are. Please identify yourself in the comments. I love these. This is brilliant. He sent me 4 now, or she. Never assume the gender. And he puts a card, or she puts a card on the front, and then a few little messages. Nerd out with OK. Love the stamps you use. I put them in a box for now. Look at this Star Trek, you see, Next Generation. I'm not against Star Trek, but I always prided myself on being somebody who said, Star Trek's for geeks, man. I'm a Star Wars fan, you know what I'm saying? But I did like, I've never really watched or got into Star Trek, but I did like First Contact. So maybe, and that's the Next Generation cast, isn't it? So maybe I should give it a bit more time and attention. I don't know, but anyway. So P.O. Box 252, Wirral, CH31, 9JE is the P.O. Box if you want to send anything, even if it's something like that. Love that. So thank you, whoever you are. Thank you very much. Well, I do know who it is. It's Da Films or DADA Films 2021. Thank you very much for that. And thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that video. Just thought I'd share my thoughts and my changes in this loose room. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one.